riding strap on my chrome. Always up on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding strap on my chrome.
Been out of these streets, nigga trying to eat while I duck police. Own family stealing from me. I'm on the phone being pray, but white Jesus can't save me. Get him away from me. I don't know what to say. So many niggas hating me. Get him away from me.
Always up on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding strap on my chrome. Always up on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding strap on my chrome.
Blowing sip on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding around with my cone. Blowing sip on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding around with my cone. Trying to keep it on the true side, nigga. Laying low to play it cool now, nigga. Ass niggas on the team, I've been known to get the green ever since I was 2'5", nigga. Coop hanging out the roof, nah, nigga. Cause I ain't stunting on them. Put my whole team on so they ain't wantin'. When niggas doing bad, you know that they be hating on you. Get the hoping that you fall, they be waiting on it. Bullshit get bread from the envy. Best friends get to looking like enemies. When you got it in this bank account empty. Perfect recipe to breed a lot of jealousy. Looking from a bird's eye view. Learn from everything I've been through. Told my baby girl, if you ain't spending life with the nigga, never let him put a dick up in you. Cause if a nigga wrong, I'ma check that shit. And when you paper long, never flex that shit. Told my son, when you getting money, never trick it to a bop and flip it over, then invest that shit. Give a lot of game, trying to bless my kids. Gotta keep it real, that's the best shit. Got hitters up in Philly, back in Texas. When I get up on the track, yeah, I wreck shit.
Always up on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding strap on my chrome. Always up on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding strap on my chrome.
Blowing sip on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding around with my cone. Blowing sip on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding around with my cone.
All right. Shalom, Lord in Christ. This is the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge under Commanding General Yohana. We have been called to teach the so-called Black, so-called Hispanic, and so-called Native American people that we are the lost sheep of the house of Israel. As you can see, our class is titled Protect the Children. What we're going to be talking about is the law, but also just things that we should consider wisdom when it comes to protecting the children and the children of Israel as a whole, because Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the children of Israel. And also we do have children that we want to protect, because right now you should be able to see that the world is not here to protect your children. The world is a place that is volatile, but it is also a place that will lull you to sleep like a lullaby and sing a sweet song. And there will be a knife behind the singer's back ready to unalive you. And when I say that, what I mean is there's all these things that this country and society has to offer as far as pleasures, but really those things destroy you. Those things are drugs. Those things are lifestyles. Those things are, just any and every, crooked thing that seems to be good, but it's really not, because it goes against the word of God. Before I get into it, I just want to say shout out to the chat. We got Yakar, Shalom Yahweh Shamar, Thumb by Shemi Awashai, that's Rib, a precinct officer, Ram Ya'ala, and they are checking in from Texas. And also we got Just Art and Paint. That's always a name that you're going to hear in these classes. Shalom to you too, sis. So, we want to protect our children because, we've talked about it before. I've seen it on Black Watch, but this just rained heavy on me because, even things on YouTube, like you think something is innocent on YouTube or Disney, and it's showing your child things that they shouldn't see. And over time, those things become, almost like a permanence to that child, to where they think it's okay, even though it's not. So if I could, can I get Leviticus 19:29? And you could pull that picture up when you get a chance as well. Because right now we have every single woman that has been, propagated in front of us, and they're just showing their behind. They're being very aggressive in the way they talk about sex with a lot of different men. And we all know that this lifestyle, anybody that has wisdom and knows about the Most High, we know this lifestyle isn't good. And it's lined out in the Bible. But people will make statements and, give you some, air of sexual freedom and try to say it's something good. When really, and we've talked about this before, there was a women's movement, and then there was also another movement. And what they did with that movement is they brought in like this free lifestyle with just freedom and sex, and it derailed the women's movement. Right. And it doesn't profit a woman to just give up her soul and her body to just for money. It doesn't profit the children of that woman and the people under, even if it's not your child, even if it's, children that see you. You're supposed to be a mother or a sister unto those children, but you shouldn't show them a lifestyle where you just got everything shown and you're just showing them everything that's not supposed to be that way and being a whore. So if I could get Leviticus chapter 19 and 29.
It's the book of Leviticus chapter 19 and 29. Do not prostitute thy daughter.
So when we say do not prostitute thy daughter, in today's times, that can mean a lot of things. There are also, black men who have a hand in prostituting women when it comes to whether it's actual prostitution, whether it's the strip club, even participating in it.
Right.
We shouldn't prostitute our daughters. And that even means like a brother like me, I shouldn't go to the strip club. That's prostituting a woman. That those younger women, I'm getting up in age, whether you could tell it or not, but those younger women that are in their 18s, 19s, 20s, early 30s, I'm supposed to treat that sister like I would treat my daughter. And you said you got something you want to say?
Sir. And also watching pornography is also in a way prostituting that daughter, because most of those women on there, or some of them, they could have been molested.
Damn right. That's a perfect point.
Now their mind is screwed up. And the only way they think they can get money is by doing OnlyFans or
Absolutely.
Or, sexual act online. And if you're supposed to be a righteous brother in the truth, you shouldn't be watching that kind of material anyway. Because you're just enabling the destruction of your daughter. Sorry.
No, absolutely. I appreciate you bringing that up, because that's a point that I've talked about. We talked about before. But when you say that, that's perfect, because what happens is a lot of brothers are going to these clubs and they're participating in prostituting these women, and they're not taking into account, like you said, that this woman has trauma that she's dealing with, and you're just exploiting the fact that this woman was SA'd as a young child, and that's the reason why they're so willing to be sexually promiscuous. That's the reason why it's easy to just give up, everything that you could give a person. You're giving up your soul when you do this, sisters and brothers. We shouldn't take advantage of it. You got to imagine that this woman, as a child, something traumatic happened to her, in a sexual manner, and that's why you're able to take advantage. And I don't want to take advantage of it. As well as that, as Kaash brought out, especially the pornography. That's something that not only has a psychological damper on you, but it also promotes a lifestyle for women to live and be taken advantage of. And it's something that is actually polluting everything around us. Let's continue to read.
Verse 29. Do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore.
To be a whore. If you notice, Sexy Red, she's being prostituted. There's no power in what she's doing. Yeah, she's getting money. Yeah, she's getting fame and clout, this, that, and the fourth. But overall, this woman is destroyed. And when you really look deep into what's going on, it's disgusting. And then when the young girls that are like between the ages of like 5 and like 16, and they see this and they want to shake their tail in front of a camera because they can see that Sexy Red from the outside looking in, it looks like she's got some power.
Right.
It looks like she's able to have money and do these things. And really, Sexy Red has low self-esteem. That's all it is. And as a Black, Hispanic, and Native American in the United States, self-esteem is a big issue amongst us, and we don't even realize that. That's why it's so easy for when a brother's ego is hurt by another brother, when something happens, he's willing to just jump out that window and unalive that brother, because the only thing he has to hold on to becomes something that's an emotional occurrence, and then bam, that life is taken away. Because if you look at somebody that has high self-esteem, has some type of, maturity about them, somebody doing something as simple as getting into an argument, or something as simple as, I don't even want to bring it to something so trivial, but stepping on a brother's sneaker and getting into an argument, that's not something somebody should lose their life about. I had an instance where I was in I was in like a bar, and the bar was packed because there was an event going on. And, I've grown up, and been young and, stupid. So there's been times where somebody has done something, whether it was on purpose or accident, and I've reacted to it as a young man that was like, my early 20s. And, I'm walking past and I accidentally bump into a brother in the club, or the bar rather, and I kind of spilled my drink on him. He had an Adidas tracksuit on, tattoos all over his face. And the first thing I thought is like, damn, it brought me back to when I was young. If somebody would have bumped into me, I probably would have been like, yo, I would have, depending on what's going on. I wasn't completely unsensible, but depending on what was going on, you never know what reaction you're going to get with a younger brother. But I was surprised, because immediately I'm like, oh, my bad, brother. I'm trying to get past it, so packed. He like, don't even worry about it. And that's not what you expecting, because number one, you trample all over somebody like that, spill a drink on their nice clothes, you might get a reaction. Especially, I'm already prejudging because the brother's face is covered in tattoos. And you feel me? He looked like he would be protecting somebody who don't even need protection, like AR Ab. He looked like he'd be running with like AR Ab or Dark Lower, one of them brothers from Philly. Salaki, I gotta answer this. Hey, Shalom, Lord of Christ, sir. Khan, I don't want Khan, sir. Kaashes, I'll let him know. Khan, I don't want Khan. All right, Lord of Christ, sir. Young man Kev's at the door. I guess the doorbell's not working, so if you know how to fix that up, the water, Salaki. But and you never know what you're going to get with a brother, because of what we've gone through and how little we care about everything because of low self-esteem. As you look around and you become wise in ISUPK, you realize that a lot of brothers and sisters, their self-esteem is tied up in things that are tangible, like money, cars, clothes. That's all. Like, we've lived in such a low state that the physical things are what we think make us. We don't have any sense of brotherhood and sisterhood, and we don't hold, steadfast to the laws and statutes and commandments that would teach us to have things in order and to appreciate things that you can't hold with your hands. My friendships that I have in the ISUPK, the brotherhood that I have in the ISUPK, I can't hold that in my hands, but I know it's real because I know the fruits that it bears from the actions that these brothers show me. I know that I can trust these brothers with my life and my family's life. But out here, money is what rules. Greed is what rules. And right now, you can see our people are in a fallen state. I'm gonna go ahead and read, that Bible verse in Leviticus 19:29. Hey, Shalom, Lord in Christ. Do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore, lest the land fall to whoredom and the land become full of wickedness. Right now, you can just move that and sit in that one. Right now, the land is just completely full of whoredom. You have hyper effeminate males like Lil Nas X, which we'll be talking about, and you got overly aggressive women like Sexy Red that are, aggressive in a manner where, she'll show her body. You can see she has a body, this, that, and the fourth. But the way she's operating and the way she's, forming her life is the way a brother would back in the 90s, as far as, sex is concerned. But to the children, this looks good. And we need to protect our children from things like this and what they see and what they consume. And we need to let them know that the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of, so they're not so easily tricked into thinking that certain things are good when they're no good. So Lil Nas X also, he's promoting a lifestyle. And, it was brought up by SUPK that, he said, F them kids, when they said, well, what do they think about what he's showing, this, that, and the fourth, with the kids? He said, F them kids. And he's promoting a lifestyle that America says is good, but the Lord says is not good. In Deuteronomy 23:17, it says, there shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel. As well as that, it says, nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel. So here you have Sexy Red and you have Lil Nas X being talked about in Deuteronomy 23:17. You see that a lot of these brothers, our younger brothers are being raised by, women that are young, women like Sexy Red. And when a young man is raised by a woman like Sexy Red, which y'all can see on the screen, they're not going to have respect for a sister. They're going to actually have, some type of animosity, especially if she's being a whore and she's bringing multiple men in. Like a young child, a young boy shouldn't see his mother constantly have men come in and out of the house. A young woman shouldn't see that either. That also leads to young women being molested. Go ahead, brother. You had a question?
Yeah, no, it was more or less like a statement.
Go ahead, no sweat.
I was looking at Charleston White and how you said how young men is going to have resentment towards a woman.
Right. I
remember he said, he was like, when a whore comes in the room, men don't straighten up. When a woman comes in the room, you straighten up. Like, whoa, don't do that. She coming through here. You know what I mean?
Right.
Real men, we know how to decipher the difference between a real woman and a whore. Right.
And that's a heavy point, Charleston White, brought out. And I don't know if Charleston White was raised by his mother. You know anything about him? Was he raised by just his mother, or was his father in his life?
The way he talked,
his father wasn't there, right?
Like it's more or less. It sounded like he had his father, but the way he talked, he more or less speaks of his mom.
Right.
So mom had me in this.
Because number one, as a man, you shouldn't be doing anything where you got to straighten up in front of a woman anyway. But I know exactly what he's talking about. There's a different way that you respond to a woman versus you responding to a whore, right. Even in the way you approach them. I remember, I can't remember, was it one of the generals or it was one of the men above me was describing how there was a brother at a job and he was pretty much sleeping with all the women at the job. Mm-hmm. But when, a beautiful, like, I don't know if an attractive woman came in, but she was from another nation, but she carried herself a little bit different. Mm-hmm. He didn't even know how to approach her because you're not going to really approach. And what Charleston White said in a sense is correct, but you don't approach a whore the way you would approach a woman and vice versa. Mm-hmm. Because women say, well, I could wear whatever I want, this, that, and the fourth. But I'm like, even when I, was a young man in the world, I didn't respect no whore. Like I didn't operate or talk to a woman that I knew had a reputation, the way I would talk to a sister that I thought was, beautiful and that she had something going on for her and she had her head on her shoulders and she wasn't going to tolerate, no type of disrespect as far as me going, hey, like, talking to her any type of way, So women think they have power and, just being, liberal with their bodies, and they really don't. They really don't. You're destroying yourself and you're destroying your children, and you're opening up to a lifestyle that is just not good. And Salakia, wearing, if you could put that picture up of Lil Nas X, and wearing Deuteronomy 23 and 17. Let me get a verse real quick. And if you could read that when you get it.
What was the verse?
It was Deuteronomy chapter 23 and 17. Because, right now, in church, whether it is a Roman Catholic church, whether it's a Christian church, every denomination, they believe that they can just do whatever they want. They believe that they can live this lifestyle, but if they go sing well in the choir, if they direct the choir good, if they, give the pastor enough money so he can buy a jet, they think that, their sins are absolved. In the Catholic Church, I believe they think they can pay to get out of hell. But that's not the case. And I'm going to read something for you real quick. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 6 and 9. Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of God? So what is the unrighteous? The unrighteous is anybody that is sinning, anybody that's going against what God asked them not to do. And we're talking about the children of Israel doing this. It says, be not deceived, neither fornicators. So if you're having any type of fornication to where you sleeping with a man's wife, or you're a wife and you sleeping, around with somebody that's not your husband, you're not inheriting the kingdom. Right. Nor idolaters. Don't be somebody who worships another God and you're supposed to be a child of the Most High God. That cross, that is an idol. Celebrating Christmas and having that Christmas tree in your house, that's an idol. Doing things like Thanksgiving and all these other holidays, you're serving other gods. It's idolatry. And you can't inherit the kingdom like that. There is no room for unrighteous people, is what this verse is saying. The Lord made a covenant with our people, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And we are from that line. So we got to fall in order. We can't do everything that the world is doing. These other nations were actually here to test us, and we're doing everything that we're not supposed to be doing and following them instead of leading ourselves. Nor adulterers, nor effeminate. You can't even be, I almost said something. I don't want to get a strike. You can't be Little Richard. You can't be Little Richard. You can't be Prince and make it into the kingdom with your cheeks out in some chaps, with a curl, dangling over your eyebrow. You can't be effeminate. You can't wear the clothes that a woman should be wearing. Like Young Thug's music, it's melodious. It's got a melody to it. He knows how to flow. I don't know what the hell the boy is talking about, but he could flow. But he's put himself in dresses before. And then you got a whole bunch of young men out here that want to be like, what they see on TV, because Young Thug did it. The girls like Young Thug. I want to be like that so I can get the girls too. I want to be like that so I can get clout with somebody can look at me and be like, yeah, he's something. So they'll put on a dress because they got low self-esteem. We need to protect our children from people that would show them things like this, like Young Thug, Sexy Red, Lil Nas X. And as I'm talking about these people, it's oppressive what this devil has done to us. To put the filthiest of us on the forefront and make that our goal it's just the most evil thing you could ever do. It's the most evil thing you could ever do. Imagine being on a job and you notice that the manager decides to put the person that breaks all of the rules and give them, worker of the week. if you do that, then what do you think all the other people that work at the job are going to do? They're going to follow those same habits. So it would be sensible to think that this is being done on purpose, right? Because we know the results of putting somebody good up there would make people want to be good. But if you put somebody bad in the forefront and it seems like they're winning, other people are going to take that same attitude, right? This is being done on purpose. You have people in the industry that are small hats, and they're taking the worst of us and making it look like the best thing ever. I'm going to read Corinthians 6:9 from the top again. Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of God? Be not deceived, neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate. That means you're not supposed to be wearing a dress, pearls, any of that garbage as a man. Let your woman do that. Don't be out here painting your nails like Drake, wearing makeup. If you rock with God, who is a man of war, and he says you're not supposed to be wearing anything pertaining to a woman, don't do it. You feel me? Nor abusers of themselves with mankind. Lil Nas X. People like, we're hearing rumors about Diddy. We're hearing rumors that, allegedly there's things being slipped in people's drinks. And there's some outlandish Brokeback Mountain things happening. These type of activities, the weirdness, the strange sex that y'all want to have out here because somebody's making it popular, is things that are going to get you X'd out of the kingdom. Let's go back to Deuteronomy 23:17. One more time. You gonna read it for me? All right, the water.
Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 17. There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel.
So right there shall be no sexy reds of the daughters of Israel. There shall be no ice spices of the daughter of Israel. There shall be none of that. What's another one? Lotto. Mm-hmm. I even like Glorilla's music, but now she got everything hanging out. Matter of fact, no, Glorilla was being ratchet from the very beginning, wasn't she?
No, I don't think so. I don't know about Glorilla. I think she was just a hood chick. Like, I've never heard anything like.
What was that song where she had pregnant women twerking in her video?
I don't know about that.
Okay, I don't know if that was her or not, but no Glorillas are the daughters of Israel. There should be none of these type of women. No Little Kims, no Foxy Browns, because as y'all can see, somebody brought this up, and it's almost like you guys ever heard the experiment with the frog? No. Where they put them in the hot water?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so for those of you who haven't heard this before, you take the conditions of somebody. So let's use the frog as the experiment, and you put them in boiling water. The frog is going to immediately react and hop out, right? Mm-hmm. But if you take the same frog and you put them in regular water and you turn up that temperature slightly and to the point of no return, you'll catch the frog because they didn't realize what was happening around them. Mm-hmm. The water got too hot gradually, and they weren't, aware of their conditions. Right now, you can see that over time, we've been brought to Lil Nas X's and sexy reds and people saying everything around, out of their mouth. That's just crazy and contradictory to, wisdom. But before it was small things. You just introducing small things. The oppressor is just giving us small things, because the way I understand the Black community, we didn't really tolerate homosexuality. We really would shun whoredom. Like that was like a woman being called a slut or a whore by another woman. Those were fighting words. And if I wanted to get under my sister's skin, she was getting called one of those because you didn't want to be called that. Now that's a regular thing. That it is a regular thing to be called a whore or to have that activity and not care. Like, listen, I'm gonna live my life. What's the name? What's her name? The bald head, white John. Yeah, she's white. Amber Rose. Yeah, Amber Rose. If I'm not mistaken, Amber Rose is a devil. You can look it up. Look up Amber Rose's parents. But you know, whether she's an oppressor or not, because she did a slut walk. We've talked about that in the ISUPK, and this was a little while ago. Back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, sisters would have looked at her like she was crazy. They would have looked her up and down. So we have this oppressor trying to help turn the daughters of Israel into whores. Let's continue to read that verse.
Start from the top.
No sweat. The water. I appreciate you.
Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 17. There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel, nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel.
So there shouldn't be any little Nas X's. There should of our people. There shouldn't be Magic Johnson's sons from our people. There shouldn't be Dwayne Wayne's. What's her name? Zaya? I said her. Salakia.
What's his name?
Yeah, what's his name? Zaya? Like, we shouldn't have that in our community, in our tribe, because the Lord spoke against it in Deuteronomy 23 and 17. And in the ISUPK, we don't speak against the Most High like the oppressor does. If I can get Job 32 and 9, because what this devil does to get us to continue to break laws is they keep putting famous people or older, of us up in the limelight. Okay. And then we end up, becoming, like them. We end up trying to shoot for what this disgusting oppressor has put up in front of us to go after, and we shouldn't do that. Because wisdom doesn't always come with age, because you can be an old dumbass. Absolutely. I've had conversations with people that have, gray hair coming out their nose, and there's not an ounce of wisdom within that person's head, whether it be a man or a woman.
Like you said, Job.
Job 32 and verse 9, if you could, Baba Kasha. Because I've seen the way, like, I remember I was at work when I used to work a job up in Wilmington, Delaware. And I remember seeing these two older women in a lobby in a professional building arguing. Now, mind you, the lobby has ceilings that are literally, I want to say, like 30 feet high. The lobby is as big as like certain buildings. Like imagine like a mall. Like, this building was huge. Their voices are echoing. You got lawyers, you got bankers in this building. You got these two sisters just acting a goddamn fool. Not an ounce of wisdom. Right. And we look, and that's another thing I wanted to say. A lot of brothers that weren't raised with their fathers, they see an older black woman as somebody they can go to for advice. But if that older black woman don't have the spirit of the Lord in her, the wisdom of the Lord, just because she's old, you're not going to get the right answer or the right counsel. Because you can, like, there's women in the UPK that can give the younger brothers and sisters advice. But these women out in the world, they don't got it for you. Yeah, Job 32 and 9, if I could.
Job 32, verse 9. Great men are not always wise.
So great men are not always wise. Exactly. Puff Daddy is seen as great, or was before this debacle. Right. Jay-Z is seen as great. Who? Let me get somebody else.
Dame Dash.
Dame Dash. I mean, shoot, I kind of like Dame Dash a little bit because he be on point. Yeah, he goes against the grain. Right. No. But it doesn't mean he's wise, because if he was wise, Yeah, that's a great man, but he's not wise because right now Kanye West is talking about he's an Israelite, he's a Jew, but he has an oppressor's daughter on his arm. Where's your wisdom at?
Right.
Don't the scriptures say, do not give them to your sons or marry them, make marriages with them? I'm paraphrasing. We can continue to read.
Job 32, verse 9. Great men are not always wise, neither do the age understand judgment. Just because you are old doesn't mean you know what should happen with certain situations. Just because somebody is, let's use a finite age like 55, 60. You can't just be, you could have been an idiot all your life. You ever grew up with somebody in school and you'd be like, yo, this brother is out of his damn mind. Now imagine he makes it to 60 years old and he kept the same type of behaviors. He did the same things. I done met brothers where I'm like, I can't believe this man is saying this right now. Yeah. Sisters too. It says great men are not always wise, because just because you are rich or famous and you're a leader, Bishop T.D. Jakes, he's seen as a great man, but he's not wise. He's on stage talking about Daddy, I see the wood. He's on stage talking Khan, no Diddy. He's literally saying stuff like, what have you ever been swallowed up? That is an unwise man right there, who's effeminate, who appears allegedly to be abusing himself with mankind. So just because somebody is great doesn't make them wise. Just because somebody is aged doesn't mean they have understanding.
Yeah, just the precept, but this is what Christ was talking about in Matthew 11, where he says, I thank thee, O Father, Lord of heaven and earth, because thou hast hid these things from the wise and prudent, and has revealed them unto babes. You know what I mean?
Damn right.
So all these people that we thought for so long were so smart, like our pastors, our parents, you know what I mean, our grandmoms.
We thought they were special.
Right. We thought they knew something about God. We thought they knew something about life and how to operate. You know what I mean? Especially with Martin Luther King. You know what I mean? Everybody thought he was smart what he was doing. Marching us all the way down there.
Perfect example.
Just to get bit by dogs, you know what I mean? And shot. We still get shot today.
And eating unseasoned chicken.
Yeah.
At a counter with devils that are probably spitting in your food.
You know, it's funny that you brought up the unseasoned chicken. I seen this documentary where the guy was like, I went into one of those restaurants and ate, and the food was so nasty. He was like, hold on, so I risked my life to sit here and eat this nasty behind food.
Neither do the age understand judgment. The judgment should have been not to integrate.
Right.
The judgment should have been, yeah, let's have Big Mama have a restaurant, and on Sundays maybe she could sell some platters. The judgment should have been, let's keep using these water fountains. The judgment should have been, white ice is not colder. It's the same thing. We have people who can become skilled in certain things. We can look at certain things and do what we need to do. Y'all ever heard of reverse engineering?
Oh, yes.
If you see something that they have, the oppressor has, find out how it works and make it work with your people. You don't have to get it from them. If you like the way the building looks, paint it. If the tiles are falling off in the restaurant that you eating in, put new tiles up, paint it. Keep your food and business in your neighborhoods, because right now, who's in your neighborhoods? Sue Young, she's in your neighborhoods. Her mother, father, brothers, sisters, uncles, aunts, they're selling chicken right now in the projects, and you can't go into Chinatown and open up anything. The Koreans have a lock on the hair that sisters buy and spend billions on. We're in a situation, and we're going to keep going because there's more I want to say on the subject, but we're in a situation where our children are not protected because our age don't have understanding. Exactly. Our great men are being used against us. Great in the fact that they have access and power and a voice. And then if somebody does speak up on our behalf, if we don't support them the way we should. When Colin Kaepernick, I'm not going to say Colin Kaepernick is the end all be all savior, but he did something that was great, and black people didn't support him right. Another person that was seen as great trampled over what he did, got in with the NFL, and just really hampered everything. Black people should have stood on their feet and say, if Colin Kaepernick is speaking out against police brutality and y'all have a problem with that, you got a problem with all of us, because black people have been brutalized in this country. Black people have been put behind fields called Potter's Field near jails and never to be found again. And the only way they were identified is with the identification in their pocket. Black people have been in LA having literally their blood spread all over the walls by crooked LAPD officers. Colin Kaepernick takes a knee during a national anthem and speaks against it, where the national anthem and the Star Spangled Banners, which are, things that have nothing to do with us. And the Star Spangled Banner, isn't it the one that says the slave isn't even going to be able to escape?
Right.
What's the guy's name that wrote it?
It was some,
Francis
Scott Kidd.
Yes.
Francis Scott Kidd.
You want us to stand for something that just disrespects us. But yet when a devil, assaults somebody with a weapon, they can raise money to get that devil out of jail.
Yeah.
But we can't at least not watch football for 6 months. Football players can at least say, look, I don't know what's going on, but if y'all got a problem with him playing because he said something about police brutality, I'm not playing. If I could, one more thing.
Yeah.
When this is why we shouldn't listen to everybody, because Barack Obama asked LeBron not to boycott the NBA when he was about to stand up for black people. And LeBron not having all the wisdom he should have, he listened to that judgment. Mm-hmm. Barack is not one of us. He's of another nation. But we saw him as somebody who was great and aged, and we took judgment from him, and it was the wrong judgment, because Barack is really just a puppet that was used to help destroy us. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Salakia.
I was just saying, like, this scripture is so heavy because you can come in the truth at like 18 or 19,
right?
I mean, and gain more wisdom and knowledge than somebody that's 50 years old. You know what I mean? And,
damn right.
And it might be tough for somebody older. Let's look for me example, right? Because we know Captain Ariel, he's in his early 20s.
That's the first person I thought of. I don't know, Salakia, I don't know what age Cap is, but that literally, when you said that, Salakia, that's the first person I thought of.
Right. So, and for somebody like that has like a high ego, he won't be able to take orders from somebody that's younger than him, or take advice from somebody that's younger than him. You know what I mean? It just goes to show you, know what I mean? You can't put new wine in old wineskins. You know what I mean? So you have to.
Right. Damn right. You gotta humble yourself.
Absolutely.
Because there are brothers in the truth that are very young in age, but their wisdom is beyond, that of somebody that's like 60 years old, 70 years old, because they know how to rightfully judge matters properly, because they've had counsel. They were raised in a manner that is conducive to helping black people, helping solve problems. Salaki, if I could, can I get Ecclesiasticus 13 and 23? This is another one, on the same subject of, looking at somebody and judging it by them, like being on the physical. And if y'all don't got it, I could read it real quick. Yeah, I got you. The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 13 and 23. Because what we do, if we see something, even I seen, I can't remember the brother's name, but he's like he's a comedian on TV. Man, I cannot remember his name, but he's a comedian on YouTube, as a matter of fact, and he does a lot of skits. But I cannot remember his name. Dark skinned brother. He does skits where he'll come through in like a Hellcat I mean,
I know you're talking about too.
Yeah, but I cannot remember his name.
Start with a D.
It does, but I can't remember it.
Drewski.
No, not Drewski. I'll figure it out. If I went on Instagram, he'll probably pop up right now.
It's like, what's that verse going to read?
Ecclesiasticus chapter 13 and 23.
Khan. Ecclesiasticus chapter 13 and 23. When a rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue.
So when you have a Kanye West, a Jay-Z, when you have one of these moguls, like who else is somebody that's rich and black? Any basketball player, Mayweather. Mm-hmm. We listen to these brothers speak. When Gucci disrespected black people, Mayweather, he went against it. He walked right into the Gucci store and started buying Gucci. Like, I'm not listening to that. That don't got nothing to do with me. Damn. He cared not. Black people's self-esteem is rooted in clothing and money. That's why when a rich man speaks, we're all ears. You could say anything. Well, he got money. He must know what he's talking about. Mm-hmm. Continue.
And look, and what he said, they extol it to the clouds.
So when a rich man speaks, they're not going to interrupt. They're going to look at what he says and believe it as high as the clouds go. They're going to say it as high as the clouds go because he's rich. I'm so close to remember that brother's name. But the first thing he said when the crowd started booing him, when he started messing up, he told him, he said, shut the F up and go get some money. As if because he has money, they should respect him. Exactly. Because he's like, hey, I got the money. I should be able to say what I want up here. But in reality, the money is just a defense. It doesn't mean anything except for that. It's not something that you should look upon somebody with great esteem just because they have money. Let's continue.
What he said, they extol it to the clouds. But if the poor man speak, they say, what fellow is this?
Who is this nigga? Who are you? When we go out on the corners, they don't believe us, and we are giving them facts. Go ahead.
You know what's funny about that? It'd be the poor black man. You look crazy and all that. You be sitting there saying, "Man, this boy don't know what he's talking about." And the whole time he's speaking the truth. He's warning you about what's about to happen.
Damn right.
We don't listen to him, but we listen to. We'll listen to Bobby because he got a Jag outside.
Right.
Man.
He got a E-Class, C-Class, Benz outside. So we want to listen to him. When we're out on the streets, we're digging in the archives. We're breaking down the scriptures. We bring in precept upon precept. But TD Jakes can get his goofy purple behind on stage and say everything wrong about the Bible, and they will literally extol it to the clouds. They'll be in what's it called? Potter's house. That's what his church is called, or something like that.
That's TD Jakes.
Yeah, TD Jakes. What did I say?
Potter's. I don't know. You said
TD Jakes. That's who I meant. If I said something else, Salakia. But we'll look at everything else a rich man says as something great, but brothers on the corner, y'all don't want to listen.
Exactly. Also,
go ahead.
I want to say that we may not have no what's those degrees you get from the from like going like the
college?
Yeah, like
bachelor's, masters.
Yeah, but for like the scriptures, what's it called?
Oh, I can't remember. It's like theology school.
Yeah, theology school like that. Yeah, man, both my parents went to theology school.
Good night.
Yeah, and they both try to tell me about the Bible, and they to this day they couldn't answer my questions on why the Bible says God loves Jacob, but hates Esau.
Right. Because they didn't learn that in theology school.
Exactly.
Right. They ain't learned that.
Do your parents try to come to you with the Bible on a scientific note?
No, they just don't.
Okay.
If you read Job 32:9?
No, because I was about to say, those who try to come to it, try to bring it as on a scientific way, that's just completely off. You know what I mean?
Right. I don't see too many people do it that way. They normally philosophize about it.
No, I mean, you get the people that I believe in science and all that. That's what I thought you was kind of.
Oh, okay.
That's what I thought you was meaning.
Oh, nah, these hardcore Christians.
Okay.
Right. And, TD Jakes will tell you, Creflo Dollar will tell you that you are a sinner and you're going to sin again. So you're pretty much a criminal. You're going to keep being a criminal against God. That's what they're telling you. But if I can get 1 John 3:8, because we shouldn't continue in sin. We have an obligation to our children to not leave them. Because if Christ don't return before, I die, I at least want to have my son in a situation to where he's protected. Even as an adult, like even as an adult that's like 20, like when he gets in his 20s, he'll be my son, but I want him protected and insulated from the lies of this world by giving him the truth now before I do go. Rebuking him when he does do something wrong. Not letting, men that seem to be great or age give him wrong information and lead him down that wrong path. Because what are you really going to trust these people that just are, wanting money? Mm-hmm. You just going to leave, you're going to leave them for your children to just listen to every word they say? No, you got to speak against it. I remember Captain Tazariak was pretty much talking about, and it was, I think it was Captain Tazariak was saying, like, these people that are saying all the wrong things, they're saying it loud. They're doing all this stuff. We need to say the right things just as loud on these social media platforms or on these, apps. We need to do it, go just as hard as them to get the right message out. If I can get 1 John 3:8.
1 John chapter 3, verse 8.
And if you could get me ye are of your father the devil, if I can get that one. But go ahead, Salakia.
The wind bloweth.
No, 1 John. Because we're told that every single day, and we teach our children this, that we can just trust on Christ, and that's all we have to do. I was listening to questions and answers. It was more like a battle. And that brother pretty much said, the Christian brother pretty much said, as long as you ask God to forgive you before you die, you go into heaven. That's what he pretty much said. That's all you had to do. Even though it said the idolater, even though it said the fornicator, the effeminate, the abuser of themselves with mankind is not inheriting the kingdom. He said that's all you got to do. So that means, so what he's saying, that you could literally go on an unaliving spree, come across 500 people, catch 500 bodies. And before you get unalived, Lord, forgive me for my sins. And Jesus is going to be like, I appreciate that. Come on up.
That's crazy.
Because they think heaven is above us. They think heaven is above the clouds. They think they're going to the fourth dimension with the Most High to be wrapped in togas, sipping wine with their feet out. We really have a Greek and Roman mythology view on what the Bible is, and that's just not it. Because that's not heaven, and that's not how you get into it. But 1 John 3:8, it says, he that committeth sin is of the devil. For the devil sinneth from the beginning. For this purpose, the Son of God was manifested, that he might destroy the works of the devil. If the Son of God, Yahushua Mashiach, came to destroy the works of the devil, that means we're not supposed to be sinning. If he came to destroy it, what do you look like continuing in it? You get what I'm saying?
Right.
If we can get that verse,
the
water.
1 John, John chapter 8:44. Ye are your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do.
That's a perfect example when you see a public official and you have these black coons and coonettes, and they're doing everything that a Democrat or a Republican wants them to do. They want to appease the slave master that's getting in office. And everything that slave master wants you to do is going against God. If you support Donald Trump, you know what you're supporting? You're supporting Mexican babies being put in cages. You're supporting Mexican brothers fighting for this country and being told that they're gaining citizenship. And after they put their lives on the line, they're being deported. That's what you're supporting. The work of the devil. When you're supporting Joe Biden, you're supporting Planned Parenthood. That goes against God. You're supporting millions and millions of black fathers being put in prison because he helped Bill Clinton with that crime bill. I just saw Joe Biden, as Captain Tazaiwan showed it in class. He skipped over a black woman trying to shake his hand. That's nuts. And you want to appease this slave master? Somebody put on Instagram, they don't understand why black people keep voting. And my answer was because they want to pick which slave master is in office. Because you are a slave if you think that you voting is going to have that oppressor treat you better. The oppressor that you get in office. He won't even shake your hand at one of his rallies. And you think that you voting, which he doesn't actually see, is going to have you in his great graces? No. And at the end of the day, whoever is running the show is going to put in place whichever slave master they want in office. Go ahead.
And I pray more black people get that same kind of treatment.
I pray they do too. Most High Christ.
They need to know the white man is the devil. Right?
Because at the end of the day, we should not trust this oppressor, this slave master, and we should continue in building us back. That's what we should do. I wanted to bring up a quick point because as time goes on, I can see that the oppressor is trying to put a wedge in between blacks and Hispanics and Native Americans. And if I can get Deuteronomy 28 and 68, and I'm going to read a few things that I took from articles. Because we already know we had millions and millions of blacks on slave ships. We already know that, right? But what we don't get taught in history is how our brothers were put on slave ships as well. Let me see. It says between 1492 and 1880, between 2 and 5.5 million Native Americans were enslaved in the Americas, in addition to 12.5 million African slaves. So Native Americans were put on slave ships, just like us, and they were sent to England before that break-off happened. Also, let me see if I can find it. Also, archaeologists in Mexico identified first Mayan slave ship. We know the Mayans are Mexicans. They even put our Mexican brothers on slave ships. Right. Let's see about what the Bible has to say about the blacks, the Native Americans, and the Hispanics that were put on these slave ships.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 60. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships by the way wherefore I speak unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
So when it says that the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't have the wording exactly. I don't got the Bible verse in front of me. But Egypt is synonymous with bondage. Ships, bondage, slave ships. Blacks, Hispanic, and Native Americans were put on slave ships by the oppressor, the devil that the Bible speaks of. So the next time you say, I don't have anything in common with Mexicans or Native Americans, because even, idiots out there will say, well, the Native Americans got land from the devil, but what they did was they put them on deserts that can't even grow food right. And then what they did is they put certain restrictions on what they were allowed to build on the land, so they can't even benefit off of it. And then what they also did is what they call $5 Indians, which are really oppressors, own casinos and other things that are pretending to be Native Americans that are not. Our Mexican brothers and sisters went on ships. Our Native American brothers went on ships. Blacks went on ships, not Africans, not Arabs. Those are not the children of Israel. That's not us. We are Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Those are the children of Israel. We don't got that much to go through. Have y'all ever been online and this is another thing about protecting our children's self-esteem, because I was online and I seen this brother. He was saying that this other person should be ashamed of themselves because they was in a room full of oppressors and nobody else was in there that was black except for him, and he looked like an Oreo in there mixed in with all those oppressors. And then the person that was in the room, which he thought was a brother, said, I'm not a Black American, you nigger. I'm nothing like you. I'm an African. And you saw that? And he went off. And the brother that said it to him was just so thrown back. We need to have our children armed with the proper responses. Number one, he should have had the wisdom to just keep it moving, not even speak to him. Number two, he should have had the wisdom to say, you know what, you're not one of us. You know, you're somebody else, and you have nothing to do with us. And he could have went off and called him whatever else he wanted to. But our children aren't even protected and armed against other nations that would belittle them and talk down on them. Yeah, if I could get, you had something to say?
No, I was just saying, you know what I mean? I was going through my head about all the times an African made it clear to me that we're different people.
Right.
You know what I mean? Once again, I pray that every Black person experiences that.
Right.
Because they need to know the difference.
We definitely need to know the difference. And I learned in college, I was around a lot of Hamites, and one of them was going off about Black Americans, about how we're lazy, we're this and that and the fourth. And I'm just listening, and I'm like, I'm thinking we the same people. Right. I'm thinking that we just the people that got on the slave ships, not realizing, no, those Hamites sold Negroes in the slave ships, and they don't have anything to do with us. And that we are literally family with Native Americans and Mexicans and other Hispanics, and that we should cleave unto each other and not mess with any other nation when it comes to the love that we show each other. Business is one thing. We can do business with other nations, but the business should benefit Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans first. When I go online, there's so much disrespect online, it don't make no sense. They call us everything under the sun, and even names like KFC people. They call us the usual suspects. Like if you ever see a thing online where you see a brother doing something heinous like a crime, you'll see a whole bunch of oppressors saying, yep, usual suspects, talking about us. That's why I say the same thing about them. If I see a post online, I say usual suspects. I was happy. That John got 2,000 likes under my comment. I was happy about it. It even had a Hamite saying, I love the responses that you giving these people. Because I called this one person, I used emojis because Instagram has been blocking my comments lately. Okay. And they even said that I might get deleted. Yeah. So I've been careful in putting emojis, like the pointing, like you devils, and I use the emoji of a devil, you know, because they'll say something to the effect of it's a skill issue on why we were in slavery, or why the Mexicans were defeated and lost their land, or why Native Americans had their land stolen. And you know, through, you know, the grace and mercy of the Most High, me coming in ISUPK, I'm able to defend Black people when I see this. I'm able to defend that if a child that is a young brother, he might be able to see and say, okay, I appreciate him speaking, because that's the one thing I love hearing Commanding General Yohana speak. You know, General Mahyman, you know, General Haas, General Q, General Mayak, when they speak, they defend Black people. They defend us. Even when you got Cross the Line Radio and they're on there and they're battling these oppressors, they are defending the children of Israel. because we get all types of calling us KFC people is crazy. That is crazy.
We need more jokes like that.
We need to make sure that we are armed, because this devil is just so disrespectful. And then when you try to tell them something like, yo, how dare you, when you not had a level playing field and you look down, they try to say it's a skill issue. If I can get Psalms 58:3, and I said pretty much my response to that was, it's not a skill issue. Like everything you've ever earned pretty much, and I'm summarizing, was from blood and deceit and lies, and it was the work of the devil, and it had nothing to do with skill. What it had to do was with the work of Satan, everything you ever got. And I let him know that the Lord thy God is going, the Lord my God is going to make quick work of you devils in the near future, and that he should read about it. But go ahead, because we try to tell them what's fair, they don't want to hear it. But when something happens to one of these devils, oh, this tyrannical government. But when something is happening to us on a day-to-day basis, these vipers with the poison that comes out of their mouth, they can't hear a word that we say. Salakia.
Psalms 58:3. The wicked are estranged from the womb.
These devils are wicked from the time that they are born. Continue.
The wicked are estranged from the womb. Salakia. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Therefore, poison is like the poison of a serpent.
Their poison is like the poison of a serpent.
Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. Slacky. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear.
You tell them the inequality that's happening, they'll say, oh, that's a skill issue. You tell them the inequality or what's happening, they'll say, well, you shouldn't be doing this. But when it happens to them, they understand. When something bad happens to them, they are going to set the country on fire. Discrimination is happening all around this entire country to Black people, and the other nations don't want to hear it from us. They don't want to hear it from us. I still read articles while and I see that's why I got wisdom, because I almost said something that would have got us banned. Joe Biden is in office right now, but Black people are still getting discriminated against. We just don't see it on the news as much because it's not a tool that they want to use against us. Because what they'll do is they'll know discrimination is happening, and they don't have anything to say about it the entire 4 years that Joe Biden is in office. But now you're starting to see CNN and all these Democratic platforms. They're trying to say that, Donald Trump is caused a recent rise in discrimination against Black people. What about the other 4 years where Donald Trump was not in office, or going for office or rallying? Let me read this article for y'all. This is while Joe Biden is in office, and this has always been happening. Let me see if I can find it. I sent the article to my wife as a bookmark. Let me see. All right, so this is CNN, because they want to put stuff out, and this is messed up. It says a Black man got an interview after changing the name of his resume. Now he's suing for discrimination. It says a Black man has filed an employment discrimination lawsuit against a hotel in Detroit, Michigan, alleging the hotel only offered him a job interview after he changed the name on his resume, according to a copy of the lawsuit obtained by CNN. So this man is going for a job. He's using his regular Black name, Dwight Jackson. His name is Dwight Jackson. They will literally discriminate against us, knowing that Dwight Jackson is a brother, and this brother got the name of a slave master as a last name, and you want to discriminate against his brother because of his name, because you could tell he's Black. It says Dwight Jackson filed the lawsuit against the Sinaloa Hotel on July 3rd, alleging he was denied a job when he applied as Dwight Jackson, but later offered an interview when he changed his name to John Jabrowski. You got to become a Jabrowski, a Zaberkowitz, just because you can't get an interview. This country has waged a financial war against Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to keep us down for hundreds of years. And all while Joe Biden is in office, all while they're saying things are getting better. Dwight Jackson can't get a job. He has to turn white. He got to make his name Michael Jackson. Exactly. This devil will tell you everything is all right, and we got diversity and inclusion, and then not hire you because you're Dwight Jackson. The scriptures speak about how this devil says one thing, but something else is happening. I'm gonna read it for you in Psalms 55 and 21, because this is a constant one that we use. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter. Yeah, it's diversity and inclusion. America is great. Barack came in talking about change the world. Donald Trump said, I like this African American. That's my African American.
He said that?
Yeah. But you can't get a job as Dwight Jackson. You have to go as John Jabrowski. The Jabrowski sounds stupid as hell anyway. Go ahead.
One of my boys just graduated with like an engineering degree.
Right.
And he told me that nobody in the Delaware area is hitting us back for an interview.
Right.
I said, that's because we put black on there. I mean, so I told him to try it. Just switch it real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure they'll put you on an entry level engineer if you put your name or put your race as white,
right?
Be white American or whatever they put on there. I'm pretty sure they'll do it. You know what I mean? So with this story, just reminded me of that one.
Did he do it?
I'm not sure.
He should get that interview. When he gets there, he should be like, I identify as a white man.
Exactly.
That's what he should do.
Yeah.
Because in this country, they talk about all these things, how, the devil will say us KFC people, as they call us, are a protected class of people, and we're getting jobs and that we don't deserve because of what was that thing that was struck down by that coon? Affirmative action. They say that, but we can't even get a job. The devil can say one thing but do another. That's how they always play it. It says the words of his mouth were smoother than butter. Yeah, diversity and inclusion, affirmative action. Yeah, we'll hire. Yeah, we'll do this. Mm-hmm. But war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil. Yet were they drawn swords. If you can't get a decent job, how are you supposed to provide for your family? If you are going to, if this devil says one thing and does another, and the thing that he's doing hurts us, how is there really diversity and inclusion? I'm gonna read something else, because this oppressor has waged a financial and economic war on us for years by doing, these are tactics, and this is warfare. This is an enemy to us. It says home appraised with a black owner $472,000, with a white owner for the same house $750,000. This is the second time I've come across a story like this. It says Nathan Conley and his wife Shania Mott say an appraisal company undervalued their home based on their race. At this point, we should expect to be treated like garbage by the oppressor. That should be an expectation. You know how many times that I walk past an oppressor at my job, and when I look at them, they're staring at me the whole time. And if I've looked at them and say, hey, good morning, they look away and just keep walking. Yeah. You know how many times that happens? I'm expecting it to happen.
Right.
I'm expecting it to happen to the point, and this is early on, to the point now, I'm not saying a damn thing unless you speak first. Exactly. Because I do work in a professional environment, and we do have certain things that happen within my job to where I'll be cordial because I'm not an unfair person. Mm-hmm. I just choose my people first. Isn't that fair?
Yes, sir.
Doesn't a lion choose a lion before he chooses a hyena? Right? Isn't it simple? How do the animals know it, but we don't? Don't birds choose their own before snakes? Isn't it better for a bird to do that?
Absolutely.
I see birds getting devoured by snakes. We're the birds, and we're trusting snakes. It says, Nathan says an appraisal company undervalued their home based on their race. The couple has filed a lawsuit in Maryland. Do you know what this deaf adder would say? No, it's not because of that. It's not because of that. This housing market is this. This is happening because of this. But let's get to what actually happened. They believe that their house improved with a new $5,000 tankless water heater and $35,000 in other renovations. $35,000 in other renovations is a lot. A tankless water heater is a come up. The house should raise in value. Why not? Don't you see all these things on TV where they're doing these HGTV things and they're making the house just raise up in value? That's just what the black brother and the sister did. It should have raised the value of the home, right?
Absolutely.
They believe that they're making these renovations, that it was going to be much more than $450,000 that they paid for in 2017. Home prices have been on the rise nationwide since the pandemic. So you can't tell this couple that the house is $450,000 when they did these renovations, and now prices of houses are rising. They have gone up 42% in the past years, according to Zillow.com. But 2020 valuations, a Maryland appraisal company put the home's value at $472,000, and in turn, Loan Depot, a mortgage lender, denied the couple a refinance loan. Months after that first appraisal, the couple applied for another refinance loan, removed family photos, just like in another story ISUPK has covered, and had their white colleague, who also is a Johns Hopkins professor, stand in for them. How much you think the second appraisal was worth after they got paid, after they said 472? How much you think it was worth?
I think you said 750 or 700 something.
Damn, I said it already. I did at the beginning. Salaki. You was listening then. That's what's up. Most High Christ. $750,000. That's almost $300,000. That white skin got them. $750,000 versus 400. This is what's happening. Deuteronomy 28 and 43 and 44 says, the stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high. They're so high up above you, they get to decide $300,000 is what you're going to take a cut on. You're going to suffer a $300,000 loss because this stranger is above you and they make the decisions over your life. Don't the scriptures say you will go to them in want of everything? An appraisal is going to cost you $300,000 if you're covered in black skin. And thou shalt come down very low, more than $300,000 low. Like this is outlandish. He shall lend to thee. They got to go to the oppressor for a refinance loan. And thou shalt not lend to him, Salakia. He shall be the head and you shall be the tail. Let me get Exodus 1 and 10. We get ready to wrap it up. Because what situation are we leaving our children in if we don't arm them with the knowledge of the Most High to know to deal wisely with them like they've dealt wisely with us? The scriptures say, be harmless as a dove and wise as a serpent. So be harmless. Don't go out committing crimes. Don't abhor the Edomite and deal abominably with him. But know that he's your enemy and know that there's a higher probability that he's going to deal with you foul than deal with you fair. Let's get it. If you could read that for me. What did I say? Deuteronomy.
Exodus 1 and 10.
All right, let me see. Okay, Exodus 1 and 10. If I could.
This is Exodus chapter 1 and verse 10.
Because if I could, Salakia, this is Salakia. You was ready to get it in. Because this is how the oppressor deals with us. They see that we're coming up in numbers. So they put Planned Parenthood out. They see that we are, doing well financially. So then they redline us. They tear down our cities that we had all across the United States. They take away Seneca Village and then turn it into a park in New York that nobody ever knew until we started bringing this stuff out. But Salakia.
No problem, sir. Come on. Exodus 1:10. Come on. Let us deal wisely with them.
This is what the oppressor is saying about us. Let us deal wisely with these Negroes, these blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
Lest they multiply.
Lest they do well and they have families and they prosper financially.
That when there falleth out, and it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies.
They believe that we would do this with China. I know that's how they think of us. They believe that we would do this with the Arab countries. That's why they make sure that they galvanize us and just make us obsolete. And they make deals with the very enemies that they don't want us to join and put those people in our neighborhoods. Salakia.
And that was the reason why Francis Scott Key, he wrote that third stanza in the national anthem, because it was slaves that was going to go fight for the British.
For the British. Damn right. Excellent point. Excellent point.
Yeah,
go ahead.
That's just like the movie Denzel Glory. You said it.
I didn't really see Glory. I seen clips from it when he's like, "Get your hands off me."
No, that
is that it?
They beat him and he cried with the one little tear.
Right.
Ain't nothing else you could do with me. But then at the end, Denzel picked up the American flag. Come on. And they all
good night.
Yeah, they all got killed at the end.
Oh my God, that is some brainwashing garbage.
Yeah,
good night.
The cannon, when all the black soldiers came around, they had the cannon waiting for him, and he just hit them with the cannon.
Good night.
And it was over.
We got to protect our children from witchcraft like that, man, because you'll even see in movies, because we're supposed to gather ourselves together, like Zephaniah 2:1 says, right? We're supposed to stick with our own. But in a lot of movies, like Transformers, you'll see, like, and this sounds crazy, but you'll see the Autobots going against the Decepticons for the sake of humanity, which are not the same, that are lower forms of life forms, lower forms of intelligence. Hold on, Salaki, if I could. Every movie that you see, beware when they show you somebody going against their own people, like Superman. Do you remember when Superman went against Zod for Earthlings? Yeah. They will show you this to make you remember that you're supposed to go against everybody else except for America, your own people. They want the Palestinians to go against the Palestinians. They want the Asians to go against the Asians for the sake of humanity, but humanity is summed up to Europe, Americans, the oppressor. They want you to go against yourselves for them. You're gonna get your back whooped and fight for an oppressor and then die for him, and then your children suffer because you never educated them in knowing that this devil was your enemy. Salaki, you had a statement? All right, no sweat. Where was we at? We were at
verse 10. We fall out any war.
Go ahead, if we could just finish this verse out.
Come. They join also unto our enemies and fight against us. So get them up out of the land.
They, in a sense, they're doing this thing to us to where they limit us financially, spiritually, even to make sure they limited us with our families. They sent Joe Biden helped send our men to jail. That's the product of what a sexy red is. After they're the ones that put the drugs in our neighborhood. What situation are we leaving our children in? That we would trust this devil with our children's lives? Isaiah 31, we should never trust this devil. And this is the last verse. I'm going to just go ahead and read this out for it. Isaiah 31:1 says, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help. Do not go to this oppressor for help when I'm talking about your soul. Don't believe in this oppressor to think he has the answers to what you should be doing in your life. I'm not talking about money. You got to work. I'm not talking about going to the doctors. You have to do that. The scriptures say it. You're going to go to your enemy for everything. And stay on horses. You're trusting in what this is talking about is trusting in America because of their power, is what this can equate to. They're trusting in Egypt because of the power Egypt had, and trust in chariots because they are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord. Salakia, there's one more verse that I want to get, and I thought I had it up already, but Salakia. Salakia, it's the one that says they looked in vain for a nation that could not save them.
I don't know that one.
I got you.
Look for a nation.
Salakia, this is the last verse, because we need to arm our children with this doctrine that the scriptures are give us to never trust thine enemy. Go ahead.
Yeah, to touch up on the verse you just said, how you just said that made me think about, I'm gonna write a job at Target. I just clocked in, I'm getting ready to go to the back, and this oppressor, the customer, he just came out of nowhere asking me, "Yo, can I pray for you?" And I just looked at him up and down, and I straight up told him, "No, you can't pray for me."
Right.
And I kept it moving. And when I tell you, he gave me the craziest look, like, "How dare you say I can't pray for you?" My man, I don't know. My man, you praying to something I don't pray to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You praying to Billy and them. I don't get down with that.
Man, where's that verse at?
I got the verse.
4:17.
Limitations.
Yeah, because I was looking at let me see. Is it that I want to read up any? Yeah, let's just read that, and then we could, if you want to read that for me, one of y'all read that. You got it or no? Don't worry about it. If you got it, the water.
Lamentations chapter 4 and verse 17. As for us, our eyes have yet failed for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us.
I want y'all to remember this verse, because we are looking up to Joe Biden and Trump and being split down the middle as black people. And we are looking to somebody who's possibly wearing a diaper and defecating himself on the White House lawn, and somebody else who is a full-blown felon. Joe Biden sent our children to jail. He sent our fathers, our sons, our daughters, every black person he could under this crime bill because of crack cocaine, which the United States government put in our neighborhoods. And now his son is a goddamn crackhead who is allegedly the one who left crack in the White House that they found. And we're still looking to this nation who he leads for help. We're still looking to a felon for help that's been absolved. And we'll make statements and say, well, he's black now. To hell with that. We need to look to the Most High God for our help. And with that being said, I'm going to pass the class over to Priest and Officer Kaash. I'm going to send it Canada.
This is the ISUBK security announcements. Rules for the new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They are here to learn and accept themselves with the work. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, they are to seek counsel from the heads. Tithes, which is a commandment, Numbers 18 and 21, Malachi 3, 8 through 10. Ma'asher, which means a tenth in Hebrew, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Priest fund is a free will offering for the priest. It's not mandatory, whatever amount you would like. The upcoming holy holidays is the Feast of the Blowing of the Trumpets. No, wait, the Feast of Tabernacles.
Right.
It will be on October 16th. It starts October 16th until the 24th. If any brother wants to be a trooper in the school, he's to start wearing black boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. And with that, we say Amazon, which means a stand. Man of Israel, Amazon Shabbat, Amazon, Barak.
Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shabbat
Yazmatah, hands down. Sorry, turning facing sisters. Sisters stand, Amazon. Man of Israel, Amazon Shabbat, Amazon, Barak. Yahweh
Shamara Thumb by Shem Yahweh Shai.
God bless.